All right, welcome everyone to the Iron Lion Digital Podcast. I'm your host, Nate Stewart. This is something new we're trying out here. I'm very excited. I love podcasts. I love all things media. So anytime I have a camera and we're ready to go and we're going to film some stuff, I always get pumped about this. Today, we're going to talk about, my love for content creation, give you some background about who I am, Iron Lion. AI is so hot right now. I think we got to talk about AI, where I think it's very beneficial, how we use it at Iron Lion. I'm literally using ChatGPT right now, but also how it ties in with videographers, right? I've had a few people ask me about this. Do you see AI replacing videographers? So I'll give you my take on that. But also in the meantime, if that does happen, if you choose a videographer, why their personality is so important. So I'm Nate Stewart, everybody. I'm going to give you a very brief background about who I am. I'm a former TV news anchor. That's what always gets people kind of interested in working with me. I was a morning news anchor. I got hired in 2016 in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So I Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m. I was on your television screen, reading the teleprompter, mic'd up. I was clean shaven, suit and tie. That's the career path I really wanted to go down. 2020 came, just, so much stuff happening, the COVID, and I had my feelings about television news, the direction. Does anybody like the news nowadays? It's so bad and depressing and people are dying, and that's what I had to read every single day. So I was actually offered a contract extension for 1 year to get us through COVID. I turned it down, said I'd rather do anything else and figure this out. The great thing about being in television news, though, as an anchor, and prior I was a reporter, I did a lot of produced a lot of my own shows in addition to anchoring, is I got to meet so many different people and I got to tell my own stories. So we'd have guests that come on. I was responsible for the morning show guests. I tell them how to get to the studio, where to park, how to come in, what questions we were going to ask. I'd take the segment, I'd clip it from the show, and then we would go and put a web article. I would put a web article together, tag them on social media. It was a big thing. In addition to that, I was the station's Hometown Heroes reporter, which meant going out on a weekly basis and talking to a local veteran in our area just about their service. And, here they are, veterans that never heard of me before, inviting me into their house with a camera. I mic them up, and then we tell their story. And I shot all those myself. I edited those all myself, and I presented them every single week. So the background in TV news has been nothing but beneficial. It's, allowing me to get creative and work with who I want to work with and give people platforms. So it only made sense that I continue that with Iron Lion, except with business owners. Business owners, if you're watching this and you're a business owner, right now how crucial your time is. Time is crucial for everyone, but it seems for business owners, we can't get enough of it. Especially if you're like me and you have a growing family, a wife and kids, trying to balance, right, that time with your family and work. Well, what happens is social media gets buried. It's just not a priority for a lot of business owners because they have so many other things going on in their lives. And the time it takes to create good content and the time it takes to get it out there regularly, you're going to run out of time. Or if you do it yourself, you got to be dedicated to it and you got to be consistent with it, or you're just not going to get the results that you're looking for. So that's why we started Iron Lion. If that's a position you're in right now as a business owner and you're like, God, this content creation side of things, I know that the importance of it, the importance of brand awareness, just a matter of getting it done and getting it out there, you need to hit us up. So there's some background on me and the business. And this is what we do. We come out to our clients on a monthly basis. We shoot all their content. We have 4 shoots lined up like this week in a matter of 3 days, I think. We're busy because we work with clients that understand that this is an essential part of their business, but they need the help with it. And that's why they hire us, right? So we go out there, we film everything once a month. For up to 4 hours. We found that's a good time frame. We have a team of editors. They edit everything in advance. And then we schedule it, and we have a publisher that posts directly to all your social media channels. We write the copy, we add captions, we put the overlay text on it. So in the first 3 seconds, people know what to expect. And we do this every single day. We put a fresh video out every single day for all of our clients. So that's just a brief background about me, the business, who we are, what we do. And I think for the first episode of this thing, it's really important that people understand that. Otherwise, it's like you have no context, right? So that's a very brief background. I also want to mention this. So if you've been following us, right, you know that Iron Lion, I started this thing in 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic, and we service really a bunch of different clients in a lot of different industries. At the beginning of this year in 2025, I had a real shift. I was thinking, I really want to niche in one industry. Just from the people I had talked to and people I've seen do it, if they niche in one particular area, they had a lot more success. They're the expert at that area. They know it better than anyone. And people just, it's almost like referrals just come in. They know you as that go-to person in that particular industry. And that's what I wanted to be for all the roofers out there. I looked at my clients over the past few years, saw that we were having a lot of success with roofing companies, and thought, hey, we can fly our drone with these guys. We can tell their stories, testimonials, everything that works with what we provide, they need. And so my goal was, I'm going to be a roofing digital marketing agency for them. But when I look back also, I see the amount of clients we have with Iron Lion that are not roofers. And that's how we started this thing and got to where we are, is just, going out at all industries, all businesses, people who need it, who see the value in it and want to work with us. We can help them. So my goal was, I'm going to market just towards roofers this year, but then just like a couple months ago, realized, hey, we've grown Iron Lion and have had a lot of success, not just with roofers, but the other businesses out there that have used our services for years since I've started this thing that are not roofers. Why would we exclude ourselves from helping people who just aren't roofers? So now we have ads going up. I'm starting this podcast. The website has been totally redone. I'm going to be announcing a separate business that I'm a part of. That's essentially what we do with Iron Lion. It's just more geared towards roofing. So there's a website, a name, a logo, all set for that. But that's just some background for people who have followed us and maybe have wondered, like, what is going on with Iron Lion? Who do you focus on? Because for a while I changed the Iron Lion website and all of our social media content to focus just on roofers. Now we're going back to service everyone like we used to. There are still some industries that I won't touch. I won't say which ones, but I won't touch those industries. And that's just from learning, just learning about the different types of businesses we service over the years, what works, what doesn't. And then again, like, that's how I figured out roofing was such a good fit, just doing this, working with multiple roofers and realizing this might be a niche area. But for the time being, we're going to continue to take on clients, because we have clients, I'm looking at our client list right now. I have insurance agents, we have landscapers, we have a person that does ultrasounds, we have cabinet door replacement guys, we have a landscape supply company, we have 2 dentistries. It's like we can service just about any industry as long as the owner knows what the expectation is and if it seems like it's a good fit for us. Okay, on to the next topic here. I want to talk about AI. First of all, I think everyone's starting to really get familiar with ChatGPT. It seems like even the older crowd is starting to realize the benefits of ChatGPT, how much different it is than Google. And with that, of course, we're seeing AI, ChatGPT replace a lot of jobs. And we're seeing how just more useful it can be, how much more cost efficient it can be in a lot of cases, and how more reliable it can actually be than having an actual human, which is crazy to think about, but it's true. And so I get people, and I've had just a couple people ask me, like, are you concerned about your job as a videographer? I've had people send me some AI created videos that look super realistic, promoting a brand or whatever the case is. You can still, I think, tell that something's a little off with some of those AI videos, but nonetheless, some of them look very spot on, and it's only going to get better. Like, let's be real. The technology is only going to get better and improve more. So as far as what we do as videographers and AI, I think businesses for the foreseeable future will still need that human element. They still need a human storyteller because, I was thinking about this before I hit record. Like, imagine I've never filmed a wedding, but I can imagine if I did film a wedding, right? Like how on point I would need to be as a videographer. I got to make sure that I'm capturing the best moments that happen throughout the wedding. I got to make sure that, I have the right focal length, that I'm zoomed in on a particular object or person, that the footage is in focus, that it's not blurred, that the lighting is correct, right? That the audio is there. I just don't see how AI can replace that side of things just yet, right? Because you got to think, if you're at a wedding right now and there's a robot with a camera going around, is it getting everything? Maybe. I'm not saying it can't happen, but there are so many things that go into, shooting content that you just need the human element side for, that AI cannot replicate right now. Just, will it one day? Will robots be doing what I'm doing? Hopefully, I'll use them. If it makes it easier and if they do a better job than me, then why not? But right now, you need the human element when it comes to videography. It's just not going to go away. And that leads me into the next topic, is the importance of, okay, cool, you found a good videographer, but is this a person you actually like? This is something I've run into a lot. Is I'll get on a call with someone, they're interested in using us, and I always ask, have you used a similar service before? And if they have, I always ask how it went. And in a lot of cases, the videographer just didn't vibe with them, or they didn't get what they wanted or expected, and communication could be an issue. Here's one thing I can say confidently is I don't think anyone has regretted working with us. I don't think anyone that took a chance with us, even if it didn't work out and they were like, oh, that was a big waste of time and energy. And the reason for that is because, one, we care very much, about how your brand looks. But also, it comes down to the videographer you're with who is going to be filming your content. Do you like this person? Is this person clean cut? Does this person look reliable? Does this person have a lot of energy? Does this person offer me suggestions? Does this person critique me when I stumble or fumble or maybe don't word or phrase something the right way? Does this person give feedback? You see how much different you need the human element. So here's the other side to it, is you may find someone on social media and you check out their page and the content they've created for other businesses looks amazing. But then you go and you hit up this person and you find out that, they arrived 10 minutes late to the shoot. Then you find out that they're kind of a jerk. They don't listen to your ideas. They're telling you everything, how they're going to do it without any input from you as the business owner. I wouldn't want that, right? I want someone to at least have an idea of my vision and how I want things to look. Then you find out that as creative as this person is, they're just not that enjoyable to be around. They don't make you feel good. They're there just to do the work. And here you are stuck with maybe some amazing looking content, but then you got to put up with this person all the time when they come out and film with you. And it's like, do you want to keep doing that? Or do you want the best of both worlds? Do you want a videographer who cares, who's going to offer you suggestions, who's going to critique you, not because they're trying to be mean and hurt your feelings, but because they actually care about you and how the content looks and making sure that you and your brand are being best represented so it's just so you guys look as good as you possibly can. That's why we're going to critique you. That's why we're going to tell you where to stand. That's why the lighting matters. That's why we don't shoot directly, with light behind us. There's a lot of different things that go into it. So I'll wrap up the first podcast here and just say I'm very excited towards the end of 2025 here. It's August 2025 at the time of this recording. And Iron Lion, we're pumping out ads. I've been on a few calls this week already with potential leads and clients. And we already have a handful of people that we service. And I don't see this thing slowing down at all. I just feel like it took a while for us to get to a point where we really understood our clients, what they're looking for, and how we can best serve them. So there's a little bit background about me, Nate, the owner, my business, Iron Lion Digital, and how we service business owners just like yourself. What I would really like you guys to do is subscribe. Don't forget to follow me and Iron Lion on Instagram at _Nate_Stewart_ and at Iron Lion Digital_. And don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube if you watched all the way through. We'll see you next time. Thank you.